Purpose of this video is to shed light and give props to underrated but effective 1970s running backs. The 10 players featured are in no particular order, and no running back with more than one 1,000-yard rushing season is included. These players really aren't household names and are generally known by only the most fervent NFL fans. Let's get after it. In this Week 5 1974 tilt, Woods ran for 118 yards, including a 52-yard run and a touchdown. Raiders head coach John Madden was thinking of how his defense could contain him. In Week 10, Woods rushed for 117 yards and another touchdown against the Raiders. Woods started out hot and finished hot. He was a quarterback in college at New Mexico and converted to a running back by Green Bay, who drafted him in the 6th round in 1974. He was cut at the end of training camp and picked up by the Chargers. He didn't even play in Week 1 and only played sparingly in Week 2, which makes his 1,162 rushing yard total even more impressive. It was the second best in the NFL, and his 5.1 yards per carry was third best. Marv Hubbard is probably the most well-known running back featured here. He was the Raiders' second 1,000-yard rusher and had one more yard than Clem Daniels did in 1963. At 225 pounds, his running style was that of a runaway freight train. Raiders head coach John Madden knew he had someone special when Hubbard busted through 245-pound future Hall of Fame middle linebacker Willie Lanier's attempted tackle. He couldn't wait to keep giving him the ball. Willie Ellison was drafted by the Rams in the second round of the 1967 NFL Draft out of Texas Southern. In 1971, he rushed for an even 1,000 yards, and he made his only Pro Bowl appearance. A good-sized running back, he was primarily distinguishable by his fleet feet. In this game against the Saints, he rushed for a single-game NFL rushing yardage record of 247 yards. O.J. Simpson would rush for 250 yards in a 1973 game to break the record. Willie Ellison had style. Speaking of styles, the early 70s. After rushing for 995 yards in 1972 and 997 yards in 1973, Dave Hampton finally rushed for 1,000 yards in 1975. Green Bay drafted him in the 1969 NFL Draft's 9th round out of Wyoming. He only started 3 games for them in 3 years, but he returned a kickoff for a touchdown in each one of those years. In 1972, he was traded to Atlanta for guard Malcolm Snyder, a great trade for Atlanta, although he retired just 1 year after his 1,000-yard season. The Chiefs' Tony Reed graduated high school in Japan. His father was stationed in the military there. In 1977, the Chiefs selected Tony in the second round out of Colorado. Hall of Fame linebacker Jack Ham was quoted as saying that he's as good a running back as there is in this league. Chiefs head coach Marv Hubbard utilized 6 running backs in his wing T offense, so it's very impressive that Reed was able to crack the 1,000-yard barrier, and his 5.1 average yards per carry is a testament to that. Terdell Middleton is the next obscure running back to rush for 1,000 yards in the 1970s after only rushing for 97 yards in his rookie year of 1977. He was a third-round draft pick out of Memphis, and over half of his career rushing yards came in 1978. smallest running back on this list is Mike Thomas at 5'11", 190 pounds. In 1975, he was the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year when he was a fifth-round selection out of UNLV. What makes Thomas's 1976 season so interesting is that he was able to rush for 1,000 yards despite three other former 1,000-yard rushers being on the team: Larry Brown, John Riggins, and Calvin Hill. Jim Otis was drafted in the 9th round from Ohio State in 1970 by the Saints, and it took him 6 years to top 1,000 yards in 1975. Strangely, for a 220-pounder, he only rushed for 19 touchdowns in 9 years in the NFL. Jim Otis had some big fans in St. Louis. Terry Miller was the running back selected by the Bills to replace the production of O.J. Simpson, who was traded to the 49ers in 1978. He was the 5th overall draft pick that year from Oklahoma State, where he had a great career. Bills fans couldn't have been more happy with his selection. After making the NFL All-Rookie team in 1978, he fizzled. 67% of his career rushing yardage came in his rookie year. Steve Owens was another first-round draft pick. He went to the University of Oklahoma, where he had a terrific stay too. In his second pro season, 1971, he cracked the 1,000-yard mark and didn't come close again. His next best season was 1972, when he rushed for 519 yards. Being a big bull-like runner in this era was not conducive to a long, productive career, unless your name is Larry Zonka, John Riggins, and Earl Campbell.